Hi there. Well, I'm about to give you a video of audio recording that I made, and it's part of a project that I'm working on, basically on life and living, and for that matter, business. To be able to get ahead, make it, all these sorts of things. And I'd really love to have your comment as to how it sounds to you as I'm building up the format. Eventually, we'll have videos and audio and other materials available, and I'll announce that when it happens. But in the meantime, I'd really love to know your comments and how you think this could be better, or for that matter, if it has value to you, how it could have more value. And of course, if it's a negative comment, I want to hear that too. Please.
The world is a symphony of patterns. Identifying them is akin to prophecy. That's actually one of my favorite sayings, the very first saying of a whole series of the wise words from a wise guy quotes that I put together. Now, this particular quote has a lot of love for me because of the fact that I find myself, if I was to describe myself, as a pattern matcher. Meaning I try and find patterns in everything. I try and see what all the connections are. In fact, I'd like to say that the majority of the true intelligence, the true innovations that are going to come from the world around us are going to come from us making connections between things that already exist, but new connections, something that didn't exist before. I mean, think about the beauty of meeting a new friend, right? This is a completely new person. It's a new connection between you and that person. And every moment that the two of you are together, you're going to be discussing and you're going to be bringing forth a new, brand new hybrid of both your mind and their mind. And together you're going to produce something beautiful, a symphony, a musical score that's going to be unique to the two of you in the combination. Now, of course, I'm not talking about just lovey-dovey type of stuff. I'm talking about everything, even including business, even including computer programming, even including science, anything for that matter that is going to require invention is going to need a synthesis of things that exist, but in a new, brand new way that's inspiring. So now the question here, of course, is knowing that, what can we do to even go beyond? How can we bring this and make it something that happens consciously, something which happens frequently, something which happens on a constant basis in our lives, and not just something which happens when there's that epiphany, when there's that first meeting of someone. So first of all, of course, putting it in front of our consciousness, by making sure that we understand and we know and we see this to be something which is brand new, and therefore we have to strive for. So number one is make connections with people, make connections with ideas, and do it consciously. Just don't let it just happen. Do it consciously. So what do you mean do it consciously? I mean, most of the time when you're thinking about something brand new, something innovative, it really has to kind of come to you like out of the blue. This is true, but you got to get it ready, get the motor revving, get the motor running, you got to get things started. So what do? You go ahead and basically do exercises to be able to exercise the concept of making connections. So for example, a person's reading a book. When you're reading a book, every single paragraph that you read, you should take a moment and basically think, what does this connect to in terms of other things I've read, other things I know, other pieces of knowledge? Certainly, of course, note-taking techniques exist for this, and that's exactly what they do. They give you a physical means by which to encourage yourself to do and make these connections, but also to record them. And I certainly advise and would say people should look forward to those types of things. But one of the most important things, of course, here is the fact that you decided to make those connections. And again, what happens is you do this one paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and what happens now is you are opening up your mind basically to an entire pathway of making connections. And now, for example, when you change from the book, when you change for whatever you're looking at to do this exercise to other materials, you're going to find you are automatically already in that mindset of trying to draw connections between two different things, between three different things, between diverse things, things that we normally would not make any connections to at all. And in that way, a person basically starts to really invent. He starts to produce. He starts to come up with new ideas. So this is why this is such a beloved statement for me, right? And that is that the world is a symphony of patterns, and identifying them is akin to prophecy, because essentially prophecy is where true wisdom actually comes from. What most people don't realize is that intelligence is something you can develop on your own. But wisdom is something that has to come from a third party. It has to come from something prophetic. It has to come from without and outside of you. Of course, in this case, we're talking about the true wisdom of what is, in fact, good, what is wrong, what is false. Those types of things, those things are things that require true prophecy. But akin to prophecy, we can still make new, brand new connections, brand new, wise ideas. They're ideas, so they're intelligence, but they're still wise ideas. And these types of ideas are, this is the wisdom which is an understanding. And that wisdom which is an understanding, that is something we can produce. And we can produce it by doing the exercise of finding patterns and making them real.